Welcome into our broadcast here as we're live at Jim Smitty Arena on the campus of Bradley Central High School, getting set for a big presentation coming up here in just a little bit, the Celebration of Champions. Of course, we're talking about the Bradley Central Bearettes, this year's state champions. We're doing a little bit of a pregame, if you would, if you're used to sports here, as we're going to call this presentation The Road to the Glass House, as we are live on the radio on Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and live right now on MixTV.tv. Our presentation is presented by Wholesale Supply Group. The two guys on either side of me, you're definitely going to recognize their voice if you don't recognize their beautiful faces this morning. Gary Owenby. We got Gary Owenby with us. Gary, we're going to start off with you. Good afternoon to you. How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing great. Glad to be here. And these are the kind of things we live for as broadcasters, and the school's been a buzz all week long. Knew the celebration's coming up, and they're glad to be here. And we're going to have the whole student body here in just a few minutes, and we'll start this thing off at 11 o'clock and all. And the band's here. We got all kind of special guests here today, and I'm glad Mix is here for part of that, because going back early in the year, who would have known? Hall of Fame game when he opened up 3-4 months ago, I guess now, and here we are celebrating the culmination of success here with the Bearettes.
Brian Grisham, first year on the broadcast, doesn't get any better than this, does it, buddy?
Well, I tell you what, it's all uphill from here. We'll have to do this every year, as far as I'm concerned. A famous football coach once said, offense will win a ball game, but defense wins championships. And that was either the Bradley football coach or Vince Lombardi, one or the other.
One of the two, yeah.
I don't remember which one that was. But, this team, that is why they won this state championship, is because they were a team. They played defense, and they got the job done. This is an amazing day. People are lined up out the door. It's going to be a great day for Bearette basketball.
Again, we're live on MixTV.tv, Mix 104.1, also anywhere around the world on the free Mix 104.1 app, and Talk 101.3 The Buzz. We're just going to give you a rundown of the program, as Gary mentioned a few minutes ago, that's going to start right at 11 o'clock. So we're just going to be on here about 15 minutes, giving you a pre-setup, if you would, of what you can expect. It's going to be called the Celebration of Champions. It will start off with Patrick Spangler, the principal of Bradley Central High School, giving us a welcome, and then we're also getting the director of schools, Dr. Linda Cash, will be here with us as well. Amanda Lee, school board chairperson, will be with us, and Bradley County Mayor Gary Davis will be a part of this festivities as well. Jason Reuter with a video presentation, of course, the head coach, and then Gary Owenby will be doing some different things, talking to the crowd and also all of the student section here today, and then Coach Earl Rowan. Nothing else needs to be said about Coach Earl Rowan. He'll be doing team recognitions. And then we'll finish things up with a conclusion. Dr. Jeff Lovingood, of course, a part of the school board. He's going to be doing some things to close things out. So that's what you can expect on the program as we move forward. Again, it's kind of our pregame celebration of the Road to the Glass House, presented by Wholesale Supply Group. And what we want to do here, Gary, we want to talk about what is some of your favorite things as we go through the season of broadcasting. What are some of the things that makes you want to continue to do this year after year? I know there's the kids and the school and the history that you have with this school. It's just tremendous.
Well, it is, and being around these young people, I think keeps old people like me feeling a little bit younger, and as we get older and older, it means more to me. I told some girls yesterday, I interviewed several of them yesterday, and I said, you don't appreciate what this is going to mean to you. When you're married, you got kids, grandkids, you say, I was part of that 2023 team that won it all. And I think they'll appreciate really more. As an announcer, it doesn't get any better than this. I mean, it's the ultimate. There's no higher thing I can go do than this right here. And I appreciate it. I'm just honored that we get to work with Mix 104 and our great sponsors keep us on the air. It takes all of them.
It's hard not to get choked up you are a little choked up, I can tell, when you're this involved, this invested in what goes on with these girls. These girls probably better than a lot of people do.
Well, I do. I've had every one of them in class, I guess, at one point or the other, and I know how they are. I know how great these kids are. They're good kids. They're respectful kids, and that's part of being a Bearette. Coach Ritter would tell you, hey, you got to have the grades, and he does say you have to have, but it's just expected of the Bearettes to have grades, conduct yourself on the court, in public, wherever, the way you should, and it's just part of being a Bearette program. And so many kids that want to be a Bearette. I've talked to some young kids, and it's not easy to be a Bearette. But the proof's in the pudding, because success is there if you apply yourself, and that's what Coach Reuter tries to do, get the best out of them that he can do. So.
Brian, you signed on first initial year being a broadcaster with legendary, now in the Hall of Fame here, Gary Owenby. Tell me, whenever you knew that you was going to be part of this broadcasting duo, what did that mean to you to be able to come here and broadcast basketball, the long-standing tradition that's part of what this program is?
Well, Dwayne, I am a small part of this tradition. I walked these hallowed halls for 4 years. I fought my way to the cafeteria behind Wes Rakestraw. He led the way, you know, a big football player. But, you know, it's such an honor to work with a Hall of Famer, first of all, and Corky Whitlock before him. Absolutely. You know, Corky taught both of us the ropes, and now Gary is carrying on the tradition, and I am just sitting back in sponge mode, just soaking it all up. And you know, we saw the potential in this team early on, and we talked about it all year long and saw it build. And, you know, and we said, you know, this team's got a chance. This team really has a chance to do this. And it just came to fruition. And, you know, when Harmony grabbed that ball and put it back in, that was a sign. And, of course, I was wearing my
Your lucky shirt. Yeah.
You know, I'm undefeated in this shirt. So I have done a very small part to help the Barretts to this championship.
You know, and also, Gary, I wore the Coach Reuter vest. It wasn't that part of the season as well.
Yes, it was. Don't mess with the vest was a big sign they had over at the state tournament. And Coach Reuter said, I'm not superstitious. He said, I'm just a little stitious. But I tell you what, they stay in the same room number at the hotel every time. He absolutely, that's the only place he'll go. So he stays there. Even if it's not for a tournament game, that's where he's going to stay in that same room number in the hotel.
Again, this is a pregame for us called The Road to the Glass House. We're talking about the Bradley Central Barretts. They're going to be having a great presentation here coming up, the Celebration of Champions. We hope that you will stay tuned on the radio, mixtv.tv, as we'll continue to cover this. Gary, let's talk a little bit about the seniors. You never really get anywhere in any sport without the leadership of seniors. Let's talk about these seniors and the 4 years leading up to this championship.
Well, I think you've got to have that, goes without saying, because that leadership, when things are not going exactly right, maybe the train's about to derail, that's the seniors that you look to say, hey, how do they react? What do they do? You know, how would they react in a situation like this? So we have 4 seniors. Sloan Carpenter's probably one of the very, very best point guards ever. And I'll promise you, I'll die on that hill, they say, you know. She's one of the very best. Hannah Jones, what you said about Hannah, a 4-year starter there, one of our top scorers. She got over 1,000 points. You got Shemaiah Francis, key post player, who has played a lot of time. And those 3 have already signed college scholarships to play together at Johnston University in Knoxville. So they'll be there together as teammates. And then you have Erica Swick, and bless her heart, she was injured probably 90% of the season with leg injuries, had a couple of those, but she got through those. She was a major contributing factor to us winning, and Coach Reuter will be the first to tell you that. And it takes them all. And I want to throw another name out here people may not know. We had a lady here, McKenna Miles, who played here as a freshman, really, really good. Moved out of state to Louisiana and just won a state title as a leading senior on that team. Wow. If we'd had her here, you know, I don't know, but she would have graduated. She's going to Johnston University too. Wow. 4 Barretts there. Yeah, 4 of them.
Brian, the seniors, as we were talking with Gary there, definitely such a big part of what we do with the program.
You know, the seniors, they led the way. They set the tone. They set the tone off the court as much or more than they do on the court. But we've got a freshman, a couple of 3 or 4 sophomores, and that are coming along and played major roles in the state championship team. And this Barrett team, and Coach Reuter, we forget to talk about him sometimes. Right. He puts it all together. He demands excellence, and he gets it. Because he can sometimes just look out there, and those seniors have already said, okay, I know, and we've got it. And everybody, this team, I've never seen a team play together, just play together like this team. I often fussed at them on the radio for passing too much. You know, I'm wanting them to shoot the ball. Yeah. But you know, that's what a team is, on and especially off the court. that's what it is.
I heard him talk about being so close off the court as well in a lot of post-game interviews that you guys did on the radio.
Right. It was. And you could really bring that out in the post-game interviews. Those things are so important to let the folks listening on the radio get into a little bit of the character of these girls. And you got to have strong character to be a team, because everybody has to sacrifice a little bit of themselves to be a part of that team and to make the team work like a well-oiled machine, as I say. And that is what happened to this team this year.
Again, we're live right here on the radio on Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, MixTV.tv, the road to the Glass House, as we're going to be celebrating the Bearettes here today. Won the championship, of course, just a few weeks ago. That you heard all season long here on Mix 104.1 on the radio. Gary Obie, Brian Grisham were the broadcasters for the Bearettes all season long. We wanted to do a little bit of a pregame with them to get ready for this big celebration that's going on. But Gary, let's talk about it. There's no team that makes it from the beginning of the season. We talked back in November, Hall of Fame game. Bradley comes out, blows out Baylor 73-19. But from that point on, there's a little adversity with this team. Injuries, things that happen. Let's address a little bit of those at this time.
Well, let's go back and start with Madeline Schultz, who didn't get to play at all this year. She had an ACL injury. I think the last practice before in the preseason in the summer leagues, tore ACL. She still got a brace on it. She messed it up again. So she's had that twice. Erica Swick, we mentioned, she hurt her leg twice, had a little broken bone in actually, and missed most of the entire season. And then it was Grace Phillips, who played a lot for us last year. And Erica started every single game last year, so you're missing her. Grace Phillips right here on this floor against Cleveland High School, driving untouched down the floor and try to stop on the baseline, come to a halt, pop to the ACL there. So she was done for the year. Now, she'll be back. She is a junior. She'll be back. Madeline Schultz is a sophomore. She'll be back. Unfortunately for Erica, she's going to graduate as a senior, but she had a great career. She's going to get the gold ring, like I'm wearing here, by the way, too. But anyway, you have that, but you have to overcome it. And that's what Coach Reuter said early in the year. He said, this is the deepest team as I've had. And if he hadn't had that dealt, we ain't sitting here today celebrating, because they would not have won it without the other players, like Leah Wilcox come off the bench, to do her thing so many times at point guard, and the relief of Sloan Carpenter and the other girls that stepped in there. So it takes a team effort, and Coach Reuter knows that, and he's hard on these girls, and he gets criticized, I know, for beating teams so bad. But you know what? I tell them, don't have a pity party on us. Get your team better, get it competitive. We're not going to dumb it down for you. So they got to do that.
All right, so here we go. We got about a minute left apiece, guys. 1 minute left apiece. And what I want to do here on our final segment for the Road to the Glass House, presented by Wholesale Supply Group, the future of this program. In 1 minute, kind of tell me what you feel that the Bearettes program is going to look like moving forward to next season.
Buddy, I tell you, since I'm wearing my lucky shirt, I'm going to predict a couple of more state championships right here. That's just all there is to it. No, seriously, there's so mmany good girls coming from the middle school programs, and they're no telling what the transfer portal will comprehend. But it is going to be such the future is so bright. 3 of the biggest players were freshmen and 2 sophomores for the Bears this year. So, you can see the girls developing on the bench that came off the bench this year. The future, the sky is the limit for the Bearettes.
All right, Gary, going to give you the final word here as we're getting ready for our program.
I'll just ditto what he said with what we've got right now, what's coming in, what's coming back, and all that. And with Coach Reuter, if he's there, we're going to have a lot of success with his, because we know how he's going in his program.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up. We appreciate it, Gary.
Glad to be here.
Brian?
God bless and go Bearettes.
I was going to let you say that at the last, but we got it. But, Brian, thanks so much for being a part of this. Thanks for your guys' job this year as well, entertaining us. We're hanging on every word. You guys are there at the state tournament. Every pass of the ball, every foul, every accolade that we can give you guys, we appreciate you.
Well, we enjoyed it. We're thankful for the opportunity to do this.
It was an amazing run. I can't wait to be a part of it again next year.
All right, so that's it. The road to the glass house has already ended, of course, and we know how it's going to end that story. But stay tuned. We got a great program coming up for you. The Celebration of Champions. You'll see lots of community people here. You'll see the team. You'll see the coach. Stick in here with us. Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and also MixTV.tv. This presentation presented by Wholesale Supply Group. Let's get set as we welcome in the students. The band will be playing here in just a few minutes. Cheerleaders, we've got all the school board members here. We've got the mayor going to be here. So many good things coming up for you. Stick right in here with us. Mix 104.1, Talk 101.3 The Buzz, MixTV.tv. Stay tuned.
So we know where the open seats will be located. Thank you. Good morning. Students, if I can please have your attention, we're going to begin the ceremony. Good morning and welcome to the 2023 celebration of champions ceremony for your Class 4A basketball state champions, our very own Bradley Central High School Bearettes. Over the past 5 months, this group has brought so many exciting moments to our school and our community. Their accomplishments have left a legacy that will be remembered forever. After winning the state championship, I had the opportunity to sit in the press room and listen to several of them share about their experiences as a Bearette and what this season meant to them. Also, this week I had an opportunity to hear the Bearettes speak on the Mix 104.1. There were several common characteristics about this team that continue to pop up. Togetherness, hard work, and having fun. These are all key ingredients of any successful team or organization. Coach Reuter, Coach Tinsley, Coach Freeman, Coach Belfort, and the entire Bradley Central Bearette basketball team. We are so proud of you for who you are on the floor as well as off the floor and your accomplishments this season. Before I turn it over to Steve Hartline, our MC for this event, I would like to recognize our special guests in attendance today. Our Bradley County board members, Madam Chair Amanda Lee, Vice Chair Vicki Beatty, Dr. Jeff Lovingood, Mr. Josh Taylor, and Miss Rachel Goins. Thank you. Our Director of Schools, Dr. Linda Cash, Secondary Supervisor and former BCHS Principal, Mr. Todd Shoemaker, our County Commissioners, Mylan Blake, Scotty Gilbert, Josh Rogers, Bobby Goins, and Denny Collins. Mayor Gary Davis, Assistant to the Mayor Adam Lewis, and Sheriff Steve Lawson. State Representative Kevin Raper, and finally, to the parents of our athletes, our community members, and other central office personnel, the entire BCHS faculty and staff, and all former Bearette players from this storied program in attendance today. At this time, I would like to turn the program over to Mr. Steve Hartline from Mix 104.1.
All right, good morning. I said good morning. So listen. We were here in 2019 doing a very similar program, a very similar celebration. Why don't we just put in our calendars to come back next year and do this again? How about it? All right, and now we're going to begin our program with the Director of Bradley County Schools, Dr. Linda Cash. Dr. Cash.
So I think that when I watched these games, one of the things that I saw was a spirit about all of us as being a part of the team. But when I watch these girls, what I see is integrity, I see determination, hard work, and I never once saw them lose their composure. Now, I cannot say that I did not say their wonderful, outstanding coach at times may have needed a little guidance and composure. But what I know about this team is that they are a team on and off the court. As you watch them go out every game, you see that bench cheering them on as if they are one, because they are one. They are focused, they know their target, and I never once saw them have an attitude of defeat, even if they were getting hammered under the basket, like I saw some of them, and I'm screaming foul, and everybody else going, that's really not, but anyway. So we want to welcome all of you here to celebrate this team. We look for great things in the future. They are truly dedicated to success on the court and off the court. A special thank you to their parents and all of their supporters, because it took a long time to get this to this level of play. So right now, we give a great round of applause to all of the supporters of the Bradley Central Barretts. And before I leave, I would like for any family member that's a part of this team, if you would stand, please, so we can applaud you. And finally, I would like to say to the student section and the band who drove and went to Murfreesboro with us, you made a difference, and we thank you and appreciate you. And again, let's do it again, time after time after time. Thank you.
All right, let's also now welcome our chairwoman of the Bradley County Board of Education, Amanda Lee. Make her welcome.
On behalf of the Bradley County Board of Education, I want to say congratulations on an incredible season. There is no doubt that you will remember winning the state championship for the rest of your life. You will cherish these memories and you will reminisce on these moments forever. And one day, which we hope is many, many years down the road, when you have children of your own, you're going to pull out this little box, and inside that box is going to be a state championship ring. And you're going to relive this moment with your children just like it was today. One of the things Coach Reuter said when he summed up your season, it was one word: purpose. He said you girls played with purpose. And I pray that from this day forward, everything you do it with purpose. I want to thank you for representing Bradley Central High School with pride and purpose. You were an absolute joy to watch play, and you definitely made Bradley County proud. I also want to congratulate Coach Reuter and his coaching staff on another incredible season. Over the last several years, I've seen a bit of a shift in how coaches are coaching sports. Many coaches have changed their coaching styles or lowered their expectations a bit to become more appealing to players and parents. Coach Reuter and your staff, I want to thank you for not being one of those coaches. Thank you for setting the bar high and never accepting anything less than a player's absolute best. Thank you for showing them what sacrifice and commitment and teamwork is all about, because that is how true champions are made. And that is how a real Coach of the Year title is earned. And again, for you young ladies that will be joining us again next year, just remember, the only thing better than a state championship title is 2 state championship titles. Congratulations, and go Bears.
All right, and now we have our Bradley County Mayor, Gary Davis. Make him welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Bradley County. It's great to be standing here again, just 4 years from doing this same thing as has been mentioned before. I bring you congratulations from the people of Cleveland and Bradley County. We've not only got county commissioners here, we've even got city councilmen here congratulating you. You know, Jim Smitty built a tremendous reputation on Barrett basketball. Coach Reuter and his staff has continued that tradition, and we congratulate each one of them. But the real congratulations goes to the 22-23 Bearettes. I know you've put hours and hours in practice. You've played your heart out in some highly competitive games, and you've come out on top. Good luck to the seniors who are moving on, and to the rest of the team who will be coming back. We will be back here next year doing this same thing. Again, congratulations. You know, we did a proclamation proclaiming Monday, March the 20th as Bradley Barrett's Day throughout Cleveland and Bradley County. We should have done a proclamation naming the entire week. It would have been very fitting. But congratulations, and continue making Bradley County very proud. Thank you.
Well, it's time to hear from our head coach. Would you please make welcome Jason Reuter? Come on.
Gonna raise this thing up a little bit. Gonna raise it up. I could repeat a lot of things that the people in front of me have already said. I thank everybody here, but I want to give a big thank you to the students that came to the Murphy Center in Murfreesboro, gave up your time to come and cheer us on. Girls, let's give a big round of applause to the students that came up to Murfreesboro. I know everybody couldn't make it. I know everybody couldn't make it. We had spring break starting, and you know the championship was on Saturday, but the pep band, you guys did a marvelous job. The pep band over here is here for the pep band. Let's give it up for them. So I want to thank you guys. You know, winning this trophy is grand, and I've won 2 of them, but it's really not about me. It's about these players. Okay, I don't score 1 bucket. I don't get 1 rebound. I do get them there on time. I keep them in shape, and I do coach them. Amanda, I do coach them pretty hard. So they play really hard for me. I want to thank these players over here. Let's give a round for them. I feel a lot of pressure. Everybody gets up here and says, let's make it a date to be here next year at the same time. The work that goes into this is tremendous, but you got to love it. As a coach, you got to love it. Okay, it's something that has to be a passion, and these girls sacrifice so much to play for Bradley Central. We've celebrated. We've been, I don't want anyone to be offended. We've been on radio shows. We've been celebrated at Murphy Center, but there's no place I'd rather celebrate than right here in Jim Smitty Arena with our family and the Bradley Central Bear Nation. Okay, right here. Without further ado, I think I've talked long enough. I know you guys are in a hurry to get back to class, so I better cut it off short. I think the next thing up, if I'm correct, is the video. Is that correct? All right, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the video, and I'm going to have a seat. Thank you.
I'll say honestly, like, for me, it means a lot that, like, we're on the list of hard stuff, so one of my best friends, like, you know, for basketball, so but I mean, we have to be involved in it, like, we just want to spread it. Just go on with it. I'll say that.
I would say one word would be purpose. If we have to have a purpose, I don't think, you know, when we win the district championship, we win first match, whatever, we win blah, blah, blah. We win the region semifinals, or something. Go all the way, we shake hands, we don't talk about winning the region championship. We win that, and then we say, okay, then we have another substance. So I think this team, I would say purpose, we're playing with a purpose.
Well, I do want to greet the public because we have, from what I understand, thousands and thousands of people listening to us right now on Mix 104.1, and they're also watching us on mixtv.tv. I want to say thank you to Dwayne Williams, Austin Chadwick, and Gideon Ratcliffe for making this broadcast possible. Speaking of broadcasting, I do want to welcome now, he is the voice of the Bradley Central High School Bearettes. He's the voice of the Bears, but really, he is the historian for Bradley Athletics. Please welcome my friend Gary Owenby. Excuse me. He's also a Hall of Famer now. Come on.
Well, what can you say about the Bearettes except another title of 7 state championships? Coach Reuter and I have talked a lot. We talk every week, sometimes every day. And he always says we have 6 goals when we start a season. And he talks about those with his team. Goal number 1 is to win our Thanksgiving event right here. We've won that for several years in a row. 5 of the 7 teams that were here this season during the Thanksgiving holiday were in a state tournament of their own. Goal number 2, so you can check that box. Goal number 2, win the holiday tournament. We go to Charleston, South Carolina. What do? We sweep. We win the championship of the Carolina Invitational. Check box number 2. Box number 3, win a district regular season championship. We've won 12 in a row, 12 straight regular season district championships. Check that box. Goal number 4, win the district tournament championship. How do we do? We've won 13 in a row of those district tournament championships. Check that box. Goal number 5, win the region championship. That's tougher. 8 in a row we've won region championships, and 12 of the last 13. Check that box. Goal number 6, the ultimate, the state championship. What do? We had to beat 3 teams in the top 10 in those 3 games at Murfreesboro, including Bearden, defending state champions, who were 35-0, had won 57 games in a row until the Bradley Bearettes showed them who was number 1. It was our second gold ball under the leadership of Coach Reuter and his great staff in the last 5 years, and the 7th that will reside out here as a trophy case out front. And you don't walk into many schools with that many gold balls, not just for basketball, for all of our other great sports. And our 4 seniors, our special seniors, I want to have you stand up. Sloan Carpenter, Hannah Jones, Shemaiah Francis, Erica Swick. What did they do? In 4 seasons, they won 120 games. That's 30 a year, folks. 120 with 11 losses. That's less than 3 a year. 120 and 11, 4-year record. They won the district championship 4 straight years. They won the region championship 4 straight years. They went to the state 3 out of 4 and won the state championship, of course, this year. Never lost a game in the district. And our district winning streak now, not just for these 4 seniors, but for you other girls up and coming, is 128 straight wins in the district. We've not lost since 2014, 9 years ago. And we have 3 seniors, Hannah, Sloan, and Shemaiah, have signed college scholarships to play together at Johnson University up in Knoxville. That'll make 25 senior Barretts that have college scholarships that played here and wore the black and gold. 25 in 13 seasons for this staff right here. That's 2 a year. Most schools are lucky to get 1 per year. We're getting 2 a year. That just shows you what kind of program we have at Bradley Central. We're the best without a deal. And remember, don't mess with a vest. It's the best. That's all I've got to say. Except, God bless and go Barretts.
All right, another one of our dearest friends. He is Mr. Bradley. Please welcome Coach Earl Rowan. Coach.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, Steve, for providing the platform that folks like us can get our voices out and tell the story of all Bradley sports. And man, it is a story worth telling. And we do appreciate it. And we love the Bears and Barretts. Very pleasant good morning. I feel like I'm back on the faculty on the campus that I love, that I left about 6.5 years ago. But I spent, students, there's not a one of you in here, well, maybe 3 or 4, that knows who I am. But I spent 34 of the best years of my life going through the hallways of E Hall, going to the cafeteria, being called. I was called to the principal's office one time, I shouldn't tell this, by Mr. Dale Hughes, and said, Coach Rowan, I had a phone call from one of your parents, and that parent was blaming their child's low U.S. history grade on you and one specific area. Not that you're not a good teacher, but she was complaining about Coach Rowan being late for 4th period class, getting back from lunch. Coach Rowan, I'm going to ask you straight. Do you get to class late? I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do on several occasions. But in my book, if you're within a minute or 2 of starting class, that's not late. So, all right, students. Mr. Hughes looked at me and said, Coach Rowan, if you're not in the classroom before the last bell, that's late. Dr. Cash, you would agree with that, right? I tried to cover plenty during that time that I had, and I did talk with that parent, and we came to the agreement about a couple of things that would enhance her child's grade. And it wasn't just me being 60 seconds late for class. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of presenting the entire roster for the 2023 Tennessee basketball Class 4 state champions. Without further ado, would you direct your attention over to my right as I call the name of each team member, and she will rise to be recognized. Ladies, please remain standing as I call your name until we get through the entire team. Please hold your applause until the entire team is standing. Senior, Sloan Carpenter. Senior, Shamaya Francis. Senior, Hannah Jones. Senior, Erica Swick. Junior, Grace Phillips. Sophomore, Avery Brewer. Sophomore, Love Howard. Sophomore, Aaliyah Osborne. Sophomore, Madeline Schultz. Sophomore, Harmony Ware. Sophomore, Abby White. And sophomore, Malia Wilcox. Freshman, Michaela Broom. Freshman, Kimora Fields. Freshman, Addie Guerin. Freshman, Rayleigh Payne. And freshman, Libby Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor the state champions. And thank you, state champs. You may be seated. We would also like to take just a moment to recognize the coaches and staff who have worked tirelessly to mold this team and without whom this victory would not have been possible. Would you, coaching staff members, please stand as we call your name? Coach Reuter has already been out for some remarks, and let me tell you, anytime you pick up the print media, anytime you see Coach Reuter on television, anytime he has a radio interview, he is quick to point to those Bearettes. They get the job done. I read just a few days ago, he said, I haven't scored a point, I haven't gotten a rebound. They do the work, but let me tell you something. There has to be a game plan. He and his staff spend hours upon hours of plotting strategy, watching videotape, thinking about defensive alignments, traps, directing offensive strategy. What should we do to counteract this team's favorite moves? There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scene, and this staff deserves a tremendous amount of credit for what they have done in continuing the Bearette tradition. Coach Jason Reuter. And right to his right, his longtime trusty assistant, who right at the top of her list, she would rank not as being a chief assistant to Coach Jason Reuter. That's, I'm sure, a proud assignment. But she is also, as all of you know, a former Bearette. Class of 1998, she contributed vitally and went on to play at Western Carolina, went on to play at Lee University, joined the staff here, and has been a vital cog. Amy Prophet Tinsley. And on the end here is a man that I knew a long, long time ago as a teenage baseball star, baseball. And then I knew him as an offensive coordinator, one of the best, for the football Bears. He, along the way, went to Middle Tennessee and became a football coach. And then he decided to broaden his resume and became a head tennis coach. One thing that I keep waiting for him to do is to become the head cross-country coach and show them how to run 5, 8, 10 miles. That may not happen. But he's been a vital cog in the coaching staff over the last several years. Coach Keith Freeman. And there's another young man that is building quite a resume for himself. In my opinion, there is no equal anywhere in the eastern side of Tennessee in keeping accurate stats than this young man. You know, I try to help Gary Owenby as best I can in broadcasting football games, and I have to talk, which I'm okay at. But then I also have to keep stats. And every now and then, the game outruns me. And any time when I'm trying to wrap up a football game, if my stats don't jive with Adams, I take Adams because he's right. He's right. The best statistician in the state of Tennessee also helps coach the Bearettes, Adam Belford. And finally, the last thing today, we would like to recognize all former Bearettes who are in attendance with us today. If you have played for the Bradley Central High School Bearette basketball team any season prior to this one, please rise at this time to be recognized. Also, with the former Bearettes, we would be remiss if we didn't recognize, you talk about the Bearette program, and Coach Smitty and all the accomplishments that he had. He had a trusty assistant, too, that traveled with him to numerous state tournaments and was a part of those state championships back in 1970, 73, 75, 76. He was a fixture here, not just with the Bearettes, but on the Bradley High School faculty. Coach Brian Kofer, would you please stand? Also his wife Charlene, longtime administrator. Coaches' wives have to be supportive because they are coaches' widows for a long, long time. Melissa can confirm that. You spend a lot of time in the practice area and in the office plotting strategy. I'll also mention this. We have 7 gold balls, 2 in the last 4 years, and counting. As Mayor Davis said, we're going to chalk it down 1 year from now. Hope to be back here celebrating number 8. But It all started in the 1961-62 season for the accolades. The first one, the first state championship, just 3 years after Coach Smitty came from Charleston to coach the Bearettes. And there is at least one member of that first state championship team here, and she wasn't just a key member. She was one of some 5 or 6 former MVPs. Some of you, you're going to have to go back a few years, but I love history. 1961-62, one of the cogs in the first state championship and an MVP, Sylvia Lauderdale Coates. Sylvia, would you stand? And since then, Lord help, Zandra, I believe that it's easy to keep up with when you guys played when you win a state championship. We skipped from 1962 to 1970, and the host of that 1970 team was none other than Sandra Owenby Morris. Sandra, stand again. Sandra Owenby Morris. And guys, Patrick, I don't know. Let's go. Let me say one other thing before I hand it back to Steve, and that is this. Bearettes, when we had the privilege of gathering like this, and sometimes it was just individual state championship honors, like individual state wrestling champions, 3 or 4 at a time, state tennis champions, individually, state cross country. I always took some moments in my class, year after year, and gave a little pep talk. And one phrase I want to leave with you individuals who were at Murphy Center 2 weeks ago. On Saturday afternoon, about 10 minutes until 4 o'clock, our time, in the Murphy Center, the glass house, you saw on the video the emotion that you felt because at that moment when the clock ran down, you were state champions of Tennessee. Today, you are the state champions of Tennessee basketball. And you know what? 40 years from now, you're still going to be the Tennessee state champions. You're Tennessee state champions forever. It can't be taken away. Thank you for your sacrifice and hard work. Go Bearettes!
Wow. Coach Rowan, great job. All right, our final speaker. Wouldn't you know that we would have to end with a preacher? And I know I speak for the Bradley County Commission. They would like him to take an offering. Ladies and gentlemen, he is he's the senior associate pastor at First Baptist Cleveland, but he's also a Bradley County Board of Education member. My friend, Dr. Jeff Lovingood. Doctor.
Well, good morning. The question I have of you is this. Do I go short or do I go long? I guess you want to go back. I guess you want to go back to class. When I walk when I walk into this gym, it brings back a lot of memories. But when I walk in this gym, I look at the banners. I look at the legacy in this gym of people that have spent time and sweat, tears, victories, from wrestling to track to baseball to men's basketball to ladies basketball. And when I think about it, I look at the names. Caldwell, Liz Hanna, Xander Morris, Jody Adams, probably soon to be Ryan Howard. And you know, the fact of it is, what is the name of this arena? What is the name of this gym called? Can anybody tell me what the name of this gym is called? The Smitty Arena. I want to recognize someone today that many of you might not know. I had the privilege of knowing Coach Smitty. I had the privilege of being in his class, retrieving golf balls for Coach Smitty. And I want us all to give a warm applause, a welcome to his wife, who is sitting behind the sheriff, Miss Gloria Smitty. You know, this school, this Barrett basketball team is about legacy. And we have a lot of legacy with the Barretts because they're the winningest basketball program in the history of Tennessee. But legacy is not built on MVPs necessarily. They have a huge part of it. But they're built on players, glue players, people who work as a team. And one thing about Coach Reuter and Coach Smitty, they want players that make impact, that stay in their lane. I want you to hear this. One of the things I love about the Barretts and their legacy, ladies, is the impact you have in this community, in your family, in the school, and on your team. The impact. You have a legacy because of impact. And one of the great things I love about that is this. I love to do the summer camp with the little kids. See, they have a summer camp of little girls. And those little girls play basketball and get taught layups and free throws and dribbling by the Barretts. And to watch the little girls look at those Barretts and say, hey, I want to be a Barrett one day. I want to be a Barrett. You're having huge impact. I pray and I think you will continue to have huge impact because you've learned teamwork. When I look at the people behind me, the community leaders, and I look at the people up here, the parents, the teachers, when you think about teamwork, you want to hire someone that has been taught teamwork at your company, in your community, because what have they been taught? They've been taught how to set goals. You know how to set goals. You know how to be dependable. You're trustworthy. And you know what? You've more than passed the test. See, I want to tell you something. Basketball is a classroom. And you know what? I believe these Barretts have aced, Coach Rowan, I believe these Barretts have aced this classroom. Don't you believe so? Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you this. I believe you're going to make a huge impact And you're going to lose, you're going to leave behind a huge legacy because you know teamwork. You know how to work together. You know the role that you played. And last but not least is this, and it's been said, wow. I love the wow factor. The wow factor, and I'm going to tell you something, the wow factor is this: the best is yet to come. I believe the best is yet to come for your girls. I believe the best is yet to come for you basketball players. Where at? I believe the best yet to come in your life, in the community, in the neighborhood, and on this basketball team. Because like these guys have said, I think the gold ball, this is not the last gold ball that you probably will achieve. But I want to tell you this, you're going to leave a legacy more than just in basketball. Because of what you've been taught, I think you're going to leave a legacy in life. Leave a legacy in life. Last but not least is this. Once a bear, always a bear. One more time. Karen Saffels. Loving good. Richie Hughes. Once a bear, always a bear.
What a special, special morning. The timing could not be much more perfect. We have 1 minute to dismiss, but we're not going to dismiss all at once. But I'm going to end by saying, God bless and go Bears. Freshmen, guys, stay in your seats. Freshmen, dismiss. You're dismissed to lunch or third block. Juniors, dismiss.